Hi, I'm Crystal,
And I'm Karin.
and you're listening to the Rom-Com Detectives. Welcome to Rom-Com Detectives, episode 81, Cowboys, the next episode in our Mentalist unit. Today, Karin and I will be breaking down the 7th episode of season 2 called Red Bulls.
This episode originally aired on November 12th, 2009. It was written by Tom St. Georgi and directed by David M. Barrett.
Okay, case briefing. What do we have in the DVD booklet?
A recent kidnapping and a long dead corpse bring Lisbon and Bosco's teams into conflict and eventual rapprochement.
What does rapprochement mean?
It's like they're pulling out the big words today.
I know. What?
So basically, it means that they weren't getting along and then they do get along.
Okay. Title relevance. So, me and Karen are not quite sure about this. So, I had written down for my old rewatch post on the subreddit Lisbon's and Bosco's teams are made to work together by Minelli, and both sides act very bullheaded. What do you think the interpretation is?
I think that's probably a better interpretation than most. I was looking up Red Bulls, and of course, you're getting energy drinks
Yeah.
and Vietnamese political slang.
Really?
Yeah,
That's so funny.
but also with bullfighting, they use the
Uh-huh.
color red to anger the
Yeah.
bulls. So
Yeah. That would be Jane with Bosco.
absolutely.
Oh. Okay, victim and cause of death. There's Colin Hamer. He's an old corpse and he was shot. And then there's a live victim, Mia Westlake. She's kidnapped.
And the CBI is involved because Lisbon's team was called in as a favor to the coroner's bureau to investigate the corpse. And Bosco's team is investigating the current kidnapping. And they have reason to believe that the cases are linked.
The location is Marin County, California, near San Francisco.
The killer is the Crazy Hill Gang featuring Mrs. Kent the nanny.
And their motive is money. And guest stars, there are quite a few. There was Meredith Monroe. She played Verona Westlake. She's been on Dawson's Creek, 13 Reasons Why, and Criminal Minds. And I don't know about you, but I kept confusing her with Josie Bissett from Melrose Place. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I never watched Melrose Place.
Every time I see this episode, I think that that's her, but it's not her. And I gotta go look for some old pictures of back when she was on the show, and maybe it's just my brain is just misremembering it. But I swear they look alike. But yeah, that's not her. But she has a very one of those faces I think that just reminds me
Yeah.
of other people. And then there's Vincent Ventresca. He played Philip. He's been on Dollhouse, The Invisible Man. There's how do you pronounce his name? Sina Kofod. She played
No
Mrs.
idea.
Kent. She's been on NCS Hawaii in my city, and she's been in a show called Men in Trees. I'm intrigued by this.
Very intrigued.
Men in Trees. Okay. And then there's Dominic Hoffman. He plays Hicks. He's been on Grey's Anatomy, CSI, and Suits LA. And then lastly, there's Art LaFleur. He has a very small part, but he has a very strong presence, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, he played Detective Louis Erlin. He came in to talk to Lisbon, and he was on Field of Dreams and Ace Ventura. But I remember him most from The Sandlot. He was Babe Ruth.
He's a baseball guy then.
Yeah. All right, Gene's skills in the episode. What do we got?
He has a way with children, got a cold reading about hidden drugs. He's good at cheap stunts and also expensive ones. and some acting.
Acting. Okay, let's get to the episode breakdown. Agents are staking out a house at night. One of them is even posing as a homeless man. Which was that necessary? It didn't look like the type of neighborhood that had homeless guys walking around it. I think they could have just sat in a car, you know what I mean?
Yes, but he was making sure, like, he was making sure there were people in the house. So he's the one who reports on, seeing lights in the house and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
yeah,
he's
I have
been
an
there a
issue
while.
about that too.
Me too,
Was the
me too.
electricity off in the house? What
I
the
have this question also. I asked this question about many cop shows, like, "Do we need flashlights here? Is this really the best choice?"
is the light switch broken? Because yeah, Bosco and his team gear up and they get ready. They go in the house. They burst in, and everybody's screaming. And like we can see a flash of like Cho's face and Jane's face, and then eventually Bosco's like, "Wait, what's going on?" And he's like, "Jane," and and then he's like, "Lisbon," and they look. He's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And she's like, "What do you think?" And then they shine the light on like this really gross, desiccated body, right?
They're just hanging out in the dark with a
In
corpse.
the dark, and like, what was Jean doing on the floor? I don't understand. But yeah, where are the lights? Because I mean, it must be that the power was turned off in this house because no one's using it. But if that's
Yeah,
the
I
case,
suppose.
if they thought that the kidnappers were there, though,
Because they were talking
it's-
about, like, it's a squatter staying in this house. So, I mean, it could be.
okay. I think 9 times out of 10 they just want drama. If
Uh-huh.
flashing lights are just scarier.
It's just the visual, the vibes.
But I have always really liked this scene just because of the way Jane's just holding his hands up and he's like, "Put your guns away," and he calls them cowboys, and that's where we get our episode title from. So at the CBI, Lisbon is telling Minelli, it's good, nobody got hurt. But he's not really having it. He's like, the last thing I need is for a headline that says that CBI agents are shot each other at a house. And, Bosco's trying to justify why they went in like that. And Lisbon explains why they were there. And she tells us that the corpse that they were there to look at was a young male and he was dead 3 to 5 years. And he was dead from 2 gunshots to the head. And then Jane comes in. He says that the coroner identified the body as Colin Hamer, who was abducted 3 years ago. And though his family was wealthy and they paid a ransom, but they never got him back. And Jane's like, "Well, that's just like your kidnapping." Bosco's like, "Well, it could be a coincidence." And Jane insists that there are no coincidences. And then Minelli agrees and he makes them team up.
Oh my goodness, so dramatic too. Like, Bosco does not want to team up.
It's so funny too because I mean they're just coming off of. I'm sure Bosco. It must sting for Bosco because we've just come off of Black Gold and Red Blood, where Jean
Yep,
basically showed him up, right?
yep.
Because he gets arrested and then he solves the case after busting out of jail, right? So I can imagine that he's pretty irritated still.
Yes, if it were up to Bosco, Jane would still be in jail.
But what did you think of that scene where this was like he closes cases and everybody started going, "Yes, he closes cases. Yes, he closes cases."
I close
Everybody's
cases.
agreeing. Yeah, Jane's pitching into. I do. I close cases.
It's so good.
He does this so much, right? Where he's like trying to butt into the conversation and he just gets promptly shoved out.
Yes, yes, reoccurring theme in this episode.
Forced to work together, Bosco updates Lisbon's team on Mia's kidnapping in the at the conference table, and his assistant Rebecca brings him a file. And I feel like we're being shown her face on purpose at this
Yes,
point for
I
foreshadowing to
agree.
to keep her in our minds. They do this a few times this episode in preparation for the next episode.
Yes.
But they tell them that the kidnappers killed her driver, and then they sent a proof of life photo later. And Hicks mockingly calls Rigsby Bert. And so this starts this whole thing between Hicks and Rigsby for the episode. And I thought Bosco was pretty over. I mean, okay, so I get that he doesn't like Jane, but the way
Yeah.
that he talks to Lisbon's team really pissed me off.
Yes, I would say they definitely pumped that up because
He's
even with
he's rude, like
very
outright
rude, and
rude.
even with Lisbon, like, calling him out on it, he is not repentant at all. He
Yeah.
has it he knows what's up.
And it's like not just that he's disrespecting her team, he's disrespecting her because he
Oh, big
says
time.
they're Jane's people. And it's like he knows full well that that's her team. So he's basically downgrading her and saying that
Yeah,
they all belong to Jane. And so I was very irritated by this.
yeah, he's basically saying that Lisbon's not doing her job, that she can't control Jane.
Well, not just Jane, she can't control any
Or
of
yeah,
them.
and the whole team, yeah.
Yeah, and so he wants Hicks to stay to keep her team honest. And I was just like, excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people love Bosco, but he does not shine very, he's not shown in a very good light in this episode.
No, I will say, I do like Bosco. I like his
Mhm.
role in these episodes, and I feel like, by the end of the episode, he's come back a little bit. He's come around.
Yeah.
So they have to really drill it in now that
Yeah.
he
Gotta
is,
have that
yeah, not at
arc.
all. Yeah, right?
So Lisbon says she wants to go to the West Lakes with Bosco. So of course Jane is a tag along, right? He comes too. They're a package deal.
Oh, yes.
But they meet Verona, who is the kidnapping victim's sister, and her husband Duncan, who is a douche. Um,
Yeah.
Jane immediately starts with his bluntness. He's just like telling the Westlakes, "Wow, you guys are loaded, and how'd you make your money?" And he's telling them, "Oh, I thought you were new money because of your decor."
Oh my goodness, burn.
And he's doing this, I think, because that's his usual shtick where he's throwing them off so he can read them, but also he's doing it to irritate Bosco.
100%, yes. And it's working.
And I love the way he mocks him by making over exaggerated faces. Like, what? What are you talking about? He's such a troll, and I love it. Uh, but Verona says that she's Mia's only family, but she's a mess, and that the kidnappers took the wrong sister because her sister is the capable one. And so she's suffering from like really bad self-esteem issues. She's This kidnapping is really hitting her really hard.
Mhm.
But they bring up Lisbon brings up Colin Hamer. They want to know if you know they know him. They want to make a connection between the case, and they they ask like, "Did he make it?" And he's like, "No, he was killed."
I know, and it's Lisbon is just like, "Oh, shoot, I didn't wanna have to answer that."
Yeah,
And so it's Jane who drops that.
but then Jane starts talking in a baby voice, and he picks up a baby.
What?
He's so cute with this
Yes.
one. But the nanny is called into the room and they scold her for not keeping her out of the room. And then a ransom demand comes in. They go and they watch a video of Mia Westlake. She's telling them that she wants the kidnappers want $3.75 million, which is a very specific number. And then Jane sneaks off to find the Westlakes because they were so upset that they went to go to another room to be in private. But he sneaks into that room and he just barges in on
Uh-huh.
them. And he accuses Mr. Westlake of having drugs in his pocket. And I mean, the poor wife, she's just saying that she's useless and she doesn't know what to do. And Jane tells her that, like, whatever you've accomplished in life, it doesn't matter. You need to I think he's trying to say that the husband has the drugs for her to take so she can calm down.
Yeah, I believe they make that clearer in another scene.
Yeah. But Jane is basically telling her, you shouldn't take those drugs because you need to be here for your sister. And if you don't do that, you're going to regret it for the rest of your miserable life. And this is, I think, Jane talking about himself, giving
Yeah,
his own
I
own
feel
life
that too.
experiences, and telling her, this is, without saying it. We know it, but he's telling her this stuff because this is what happened to him. He wasn't present.
Yeah, I think they play the scene so well.
It's very subtle.
Yeah, because he's also being a jerk. And
Yeah.
before he gets to that,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
So outside, Lisbon asks, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "What?" She's like, "We're leaving." And he's like, "No, I think I'm gonna stay." And she's like, "Oh, I know what you're doing. You just want to get the reg on file from Bosco." And she says, "Bosco's never gonna go for it." And that's when he walks up. He's like, "What?" And Jane's like, I want to help with the Westlake case. I would like to help find this live person instead of this crusty old body." And then Bosco does it again. He's so insulting to Lisbon. He tells her, wait, what does he say? He says, "You claim that you can control him, so maybe you should just walk him off."
Ugh.
And finally, she speaks up for herself. She's like, "Don't talk to me like that." And she's like, "Yeah, don't talk to her like that." She's like, "Shush." Or what did she say? She's, "You quiet." She's so bossy. I love it. And while I'm talking about her bossiness, her bangs and her makeup in this episode were so good. She looks
They are.
so fantastic in bangs in this
Yes,
episode.
I agree.
Like later on, I think maybe in season 3, I don't like her bangs, but in this season, her bangs are really on point. But Philip comes out. He's like telling Bosco, "I demand this man be removed from the case." And he starts threatening Bosco. And Jane's like, "He only says that because I called him out on the drugs on his pocket." But yeah. And so you kind of expect that Bosco's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, this is my chance to kick Jane off the case." But because the guy threatens Bosco, he says, "I can have you directing traffic with one phone call."
Oh.
It's like, oh no.
Oh, no. Where's Joe when you need him?
But yeah, so Bosco's just like, "Oh no, it's up to me," and he's like, he stays, and then Verona comes out and she tells Jane that he was right, and she tells her husband to leave him alone. And I love that Lisbon's like, "Well, it looks like you guys can work together. Have fun, boys." She just leaves.
She's just glad to not be in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you two handle each other. Bye. Or that was the other thing I like from the scene is when, because last episode we talked about how, or was it the last episode? Where basically Jane is being accused of spying. He's like, "Spying is such an ugly word," and in this case, Lisbon's telling him that you're trying to weasel your way into the Red John case, and he's like, "Weasel is a little strong."
What word would he prefer?
What is a good word? Maneuver. So next we go to the office. Chol brings in 3 big boxes of files that they have to go through. He asks Rigsby if he wants A through L or M through Z, and Rigsby's choice ends up being 2 boxes. And I love that he's like, "No, no, no, I want to switch." And he says, "Nope, too late."
It's too
And
late
he,
now.
he tries to switch by offering to play rock, paper, scissors. And Higgs overhears and he's like, "Oh, I haven't played that since I was 10." He calls him Bert again. And then Rigsby asks Rebecca, "Why does he keep calling me Bert?" And she's like, "I don't know." And Joe says, "It's like the Muppet."
I love that he has this information. I just it's one of those random things like you wouldn't necessarily expect Cho to know all about the Muppets.
Well, I mean, Cho would have grown up like around the
Maybe,
time of Sesame Street, right?
maybe. I was just thinking of him with zoos and those kind of things. It's just like, was he watching Sesame Street?
But he basically Cho basically explains that they call him Bert and Ernie, and he's Rigsby's like, that doesn't bother you? He's like, no, Ernie's the clever, handsome one. So, do you have a Bert and Ernie skit that you remember in particular? Because I have one.
No. Uh-uh.
It's this one where
What you got?
they're fishing in a boat. And do you know what I'm talking about? The way
Yeah.
that he catches fish, he says, "Here, fishy, 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 fishy," and the fish
Yep.
jumps in the boat, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
We're gonna have to go look it up. I will put it in the show notes. That's my most memorable Bert and Ernie scene. But yeah, Bert tries it. He yells, "Here, fishy, fishy, fishy," and no fish come. So Lisbon approaches, and Van Pelt's like, "Where's Jane?" He's like, "Oh, he's at Bosco, and don't ask what they're doing because I don't know and I don't care."
Oh, she got away. She escaped.
She's got a nice carefree day now. She's got someone else to babysit him. Rebecca tells her that Louis Erlin is here to meet with her, so she goes to talk to him, and he was the detective in charge of Colin Hamer's case, and they talk about the similarities, and he says that he had a feeling about Colin's girlfriend, and that he tells her how he sat with the parents the night that they paid the ransom, and he never came home. And so he says if it is the same kidnappers, that she should do the family a favor, and a minute after the drop time passes, he should just tell them that their child is dead. I mean, in this case, it's not like parent and children, but
Right.
he's talking about telling the family. But he says it would be a kindness, which was kind of brutal.
Yeah. I feel like they gave his role a good amount of respect.
Yeah,
Like they weren't blaming him for not catching the kidnappers
yeah,
or anything like that. And yeah, you almost with the gravitas that this scene has, you kind of expect to see more of him.
yeah. Because yeah,
But
like I
this is
said,
what
he
we
has a
get.
very strong presence,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you immediately feel like he's trustworthy and that he was a
Yeah.
good cop, right?
Yeah. And
You
you
just
wonder
can't.
if this was the case when he decided to retire,
Mm,
because it's only been 3 years. It's not like it's a been a
yeah,
long, long time has passed.
yeah. So Van Pelt comes to Lisbon's office. She found a lead. She says that the squatters at the house that they found the body in were drug dealers who grew pot, and they sometimes sold to cartels, and so they might have picked up some of their habits, which is kidnapping for ransom. So they link it to a drug gang. Is that what they were?
I guess.
A gang of drug dealers. I don't know. They find a person named Deezer, and so they're gonna go out and they're gonna go find this Deezer guy, and it's Grace, Rigsby, and Hicks.
Hicks.
And
Mhm.
Hicks is like, I gotta go get more magazines. And Rigsby's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's not wearing a vest. And Grace is telling him he should go put it on. He starts complaining about how it's hot and he doesn't want to wear it. And Hicks is not wearing one. And she's pretty irritated because she can tell that he's just trying to like show him up kind of thing or something,
Yeah,
right?
be tough. Yeah,
But I mean, she tells him to do it. He still won't do it. He very noticeably gets in the elevator without doing it, and she's just like, whatever.
fine. Don't listen to me.
Back at the Westlake house, Jane goes to the little girl's room, and he's playing with the daughter and talking to the nanny. He lays out what he thinks about the parents, that Verona is insecure about motherhood, and that Duncan considers the child a rival because he married her for her money. And the nanny's like, Mrs. Kent, she's just like, they're very loving, but they're just not very hands on. Which I was like,
Like,
okay,
what
what does
does
that
that
even
even
mean?
mean? Yeah, what does that look like?
That's such a rich people way to look at having kids, right?
Yeah. Are they waving from across the room? I mean,
Oh, they're so loving. She tells her good night every night. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. So do
Kisses her goodnight from the doorway.
I.
Blow blowing a kiss.
uh, but Bosco comes to get Jane, saying that they have an errand to run, and he takes him to go see some Mexican mafia. Jane's like, they look a little scary. He's like, yeah, you have to kill to get into the gang. Jane's like, I will wait in the car. Bosco says, "No, I need you as backup."
I know.
I love when Jane's sitting in the car. He's like, "Backup."
What? Me? Backup? This is not adding up.
It's not, because Bosco has been telling him constantly, "You're not a cop. You're not a cop. You're nothing." And now he's like, "I need you."
Yes, and he's bringing him into this dangerous situation. It could go south, it could be bad, and he doesn't prepare Jane at all.
Yeah, yeah. But they talk to this guy Raul, and they're looking for. He tells him they're looking for somebody, and then Jane he jokes about how tough he is, and Jane says, "No, I'm emotionally resilient."
Yes. If by tough you mean emotionally resilient, then sure.
But does he actually physically touch Jane? The guy Raul, does he poke
I
him?
don't think so. I think he moves towards him
Yeah,
and Bosco just grabs him like he
yeah.
was waiting for that.
Waiting for some kind of move. But yeah, he cuffs him
Mhm.
and they lead him away. And Jane by now has figured out that he's a confidential informant. And they talk to him, and he doesn't know anything about the kidnapping. And then, the thing that led them there is that they saw on the kidnapping video a tattoo on one of the kidnappers' hands. Jane points out, it's kind of obvious that, it was in view of the camera. And I thought it was so funny that this Raul guy was like, yeah, it's a real problem. These people were being framed for all these things. Sure you are.
We're innocent, I swear.
But Bosco says, "Oh, I'm gonna need to punch you to get suspicion off of you." Oh no, the guy
Right.
Rose says you're gonna have to punch me to,
Yeah,
and I mean
and
he
then
does. He
but then they still, like, put him in the car and drive away with him.
yeah,
I was so confused by that. Like, what are they bringing him in for? Is or
assault. I think he said
I
assault
guess
against a
I
state
guess?
officer or something.
I don't know, it's just weird they had the conversation there on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
street.
Why didn't they just have the conversation later, right?
Yeah.
Or other people could hear them. But back at the office, Jane follows Bosco in. Did you see the way he was like almost imitating the way Bosco was walking?
Yes.
It's like, is this how I'm supposed to walk if I'm a tough cop?
You were showcasing your toughness to me. Let's see what I learned.
But Bosco goes into his office and closes the door, and Jane pauses, and then he goes in and follows him and says, "Thank you, that was fun." And Bosco's like really condescending. He's like, this is real police work. Sometimes leads don't pan out, and this is what we do, and you don't understand that. But it's like so like I said, condescending, because Jane goes with them to do all these things. Maybe he stays in the van and doesn't do it, but he knows that that's what they do, and he knows that that's part of their police work and how they catch these criminals. Because I say this all the time, because a lot of times people in the subreddit will say the team is useless. Jane is the only one who's solving the case, but it's not just Jane. You know, the team is gathering all these facts and information. They're chasing down leads, they're eliminating people. They're gathering all the puzzle pieces for Jane. He's the one
Yep.
who figures it out, but he's not the one getting the pieces together. And so if they didn't do that for him, I don't think he would be able to solve the case, or at least not as quickly.
Right. Yeah, and I think earlier when the video came in at the Westlakes, and the whole room is watching the video, but Jane is watching the people in the
The
room
people, yeah.
and seeing how they respond to the video.
Yeah. So I mean, he knows that the team is going to do their own police work kind of thing, the things that they're trained
Mhm.
to do, right? But he provides the outside perspective, so he has to look at the
Yep.
other things, the things that they're not paying attention to, and then
Right.
they put it all together, and that's why they make a great team.
Yep.
But because I mean, he's being, like I said, he's being really condescending. And so finally, Jane's just like, oh, please, you just wanted to show off. And it's kind of juvenile. And Bosco says, you're hurting your team. Their careers are taking a hit. And if you cared, you would leave. And Jane tries to get him to admit that he's only talking about Lisbon, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about the others.
Yep.
Uh, and then, he tries to turn their discussion over to the case, and he says, we can try something else with the job because they're probably going to kill her 5 minutes after they get the money. But Bosco's not interested. And so Jane returns to mocking him.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that Rigsby makes an observation that she can see everybody, so that's a bad
Yes.
sign. And he was
Yes.
mocked for that by Hicks, but it turns out that was actually kind of accurate. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
point for
Yep.
Rigsby. So, Grace and Rigsby go canvassing for Deezer with Hicks, and they're arguing again. Hicks calls him Bert one more time. He's like, "Can you stop that?" He's like, "Why, you can't take a joke?" And he tells me he needs to lighten up. Grace talks to this lady with groceries, and she goes into her apartment, and Grace goes to give her her card, and she opens the door and the lady shoots her, and Rigsby and Hicks have to pursue the woman, and he ends up saving Hicks's life. So I was really shocked seeing this the first time. I was not
Yes.
expecting that the gunshot
Yes.
stuff, so the shooting.
And I'm, thankful that they shot at the person who actually wore a vest.
Yeah.
Oh, because, with all that talk about wearing a vest or Rigsby not wearing a vest, they could have easily gone another way with that. Or
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
Hicks been shot.
Yeah. So they go back to the apartment, and Grace is being wheeled away and taken into the ambulance. And she thinks that she has a couple broken ribs, but she thinks she'll be okay. And then she points out that her legs are twitching, and Cho tells her that, oh, that's just adrenaline. Then Hicks comes over and he says, "Hey, Rigsby, thanks." And so I like that because and you're meant to realize that he's calling him Rigsby, not Bert.
Right. Yes.
But Rigsby sneaks into the ambulance and he tells Grace that he loves her. And it's such a nice, sweet scene. And then she slaps him. Did you notice that they were playing their love music, their love theme, and then the
Yes.
music just cuts out when she slaps him? But she slaps him because he wasn't wearing his vest. And if it had been him, he would have probably died or gotten really seriously injured, and it would have been really bad. So he gets it now.
But also, when Rigsby tells her that he loves her, she says, thanks.
She looked really pretty in that ambulance.
She did. She made it look good.
She was glowing. Post shooting glow. Bosco and Jane arrive, and Lisbon starts right in on them. She's like, "This is our fault. Rigsby and Hicks were arguing when she got shot." And then Joel comes back out from talking to the investigators inside. He says that the shooter was Diane Zaransky, or DZ Deezer, and she happens to be Colin Hamer's girlfriend, the guy that the cop had told Lisbon he had a feeling about. So now they know that if these are the same kidnappers, there's probably a mole, like, or a spy or something in the Westlake house. And so Jane wants to draw this person out, but Bosco's like, no. And so Lisbon points out, he's the problem, Bosco, and that she's like ranting and saying, you tell me that he's dragging me down, but I think he makes me a better cop. And here again, Jane's like, thank you, Lisbon. She's like, shh.
It's so good.
I know. He's like a kid, right?
Yeah.
This is one of those things where something has gone on that we aren't allowed to see because they're going to play a trick on us, the audience. So they go to the
Right.
Westlake house, and Bosco asks to talk to Verona in private. And earlier, her lawyer had said, I have to be present with her for all conversations. And so she protests, and he's like, no, seriously, I need you to stay. And so he takes Mrs. Westlake into the other room, and Jane and Bosco starts arguing. Jane plants a camera and is pointed right at the suitcase of money because they took it with them. And Bosco is explaining to her about puts a tracker in it, and they keep fighting. And then Jean goes and tells Verona, "There's a mole in your house, and this person is, spying on you guys." And then she's like, "Who?" And he leads her and takes her to the lawyer, who's currently on the phone, and says, "It's her."
It's her. Oh my goodness. Verona just loses it.
Loses it.
Oh
She
no.
she charges at her. She's like,
Poor
"You
Belinda.
bitch!"
Oh no.
I was not expecting that.
Was Jane expecting that? Did
I
he?
don't think he
I was like,
was.
oh yes, as Bosco said, Jane is hurting people with these cheap tricks he plays. And Belinda was
But it's
the
so
poor.
funny. He leaves to go join Cho and Lisbon where they're watching the camera feed, and he's like, "My money's on Verona." But then Bosco comes in the room, and that's when we learn that, they were staging that fight. They were staging everything. This is all an act so that they can draw the killer out. They're actually going with Jane's plan. And so they watch, and the nanny comes in the room, and she removes the tracker. And then Verona takes the case of money, and she leaves for the drop. And then they go to the baby's room, and Mrs. Kent is on the phone, and they catch her, and she tells them, "Oh, it's not me. I'm talking to my sister." She tries to pretend that she's not the bad guy. And then Lisbon's like, "What's this?" She's got the tracker in her pocket. But that's how, I mean, this is how she's like, "Oh, you're making a big mistake now that she's going to be tortured to death." But Bosco takes her phone, and they check the call log, and it just so happens to trace to a landline, so they can go to a house. So
Nice.
and actually, when I went to LA and I posted my picture of Lego Cho and Rigsby at the CVI, and at the Strawberries and Cream Mall, I had used this one track. I forget what it was called, but I was like, "Wow, this is a very dramatic track on the soundtrack." And it was this one when they're charging at the house.
Nice.
But yeah, so they storm the house. Jane is hiding behind a tree watching.
Right.
Uh,
That's his place. Yep.
yep. But gunshots ring out, and then they bring Mia Westlake out, and she's safe. And the two sisters hug, and he smiles watching them. I like watching these little moments where he gets to enjoy reuniting people. And I think he doesn't get to do this often because they're often investigating murders. So,
Yeah. And noticed also that Verona's husband doesn't really come back for these
yeah.
reunion scenes here. Like maybe he's been kicked out. I don't know.
But yeah, so Bosco gives him a nod, like, good work. And then we go back to the CBI, and Bosco brings tequila shots for him in Lisbon. He talks about how that's an old tradition, and he's telling her, "That stuff you said earlier, do you really believe that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I might have exaggerated a little." But he tells her it was nice working with her again, and they smile at each other. And he kind of looks like he wants to say more, but he doesn't know how, kind of thing. And I think they're trying to plant seeds of what Jane has been and the rest of the team has been saying, that he has feelings for her. So, but he doesn't say
Yeah.
anything.
No, I can't imagine how would that go down at this moment.
Well, because the way Lisbon is reacting, she's very yeah, it was very nice working with you, and it's very professional friends kind of thing.
Hmm.
I don't think she's giving off any interested vibes kind of thing.
No,
So
I don't think so
if he
either.
said
But
anything, I think it would have been super awkward.
yeah, I feel like she's wearing more makeup in this scene. Like they're bringing out her feminine
Mm.
side a little bit more. But yeah, they don't really follow through.
Okay, so Bosco approaches Jane. He's reading on the couch. Could you see what book he was reading?
No.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
because I know I started that his Jane's reading this thing, but I can't. It's just all I know is that the cover's red. So
Yeah, and it's hardback. It looks like it could be a classic,
yeah.
just how it's styled. But yeah, no, couldn't see anything.
Maybe I should post on the sub and see if anyone can identify it. Because there's like, I think there's like a little gold symbol or something on it.
Yeah, it
So
looked like there was, yeah, something
something
that
on
if
it,
you saw
right?
it, yeah,
It kind of looked like a book where you take the jacket off and you just read
yeah.
the book. But yeah, so Bosco approaches him. He's like, "I've been thinking. You're not a cop. You never will be." But he concedes that he has a useful perspective, and he hands him a summary of the Red John case so far since he took over. And he tells him, "Tell me what you think." And instead of being grateful, Jane stands up and he's like, "No need to thank me." He's like, "I wasn't going to thank you."
Where's
He's
the
like,
rest of it?
"Where's the rest of it?" And Bosco's like, "You're a jerk." It was a really good way to close out the episode because I think if they had made them too buddy buddy, it would have rang a little false.
Yeah, I think so too. It's
Yeah,
like we're
so
we're getting there. We're moving towards it,
yeah, not
but
quite there yet.
not there yet.
All right, at what cold reading? What point does Jane crack the case?
So it appears that he's casting a wide net,
Mm.
that they don't know who's going to show up from inside the household. But I think the nanny is kind of an obvious suspect.
Yeah, and he does
And
point out when they catch her. She's like, "I'm watching the child." He's like, "You're a terrible nanny. She's all over the house."
right. Yeah, coming back to the very first scene when the kid comes into their
Yeah,
room where they
yeah.
are and she shouldn't be there.
All right, hot reading for us.
Oh yeah, there were a couple of deleted scenes on the DVD. Um the first one, it's really just here at the end when they're setting up their con at the house. It shows them coming, they're arguing when they come to the door, and it's the nanny who lets them in to the house. So she sees them arguing and there's this very meaningful look, like she's just considering them as she closes the door and lets them in. And then the other deleted scene really felt more like an extended scene, when Jane talks to the Westlakes near the beginning when he's accusing the husband of having drugs in his pocket. But they include like uh, the scene of Jane coming down the hallway looking kind of sneaky, like he shouldn't
Hmm.
be following them, and just a couple of alternate angles from what was in the aired scene, but the content is, I didn't notice any differences.
Mm. Rewatch checklist. Just been moments. All the shushing. I count the shushing as it's relationship building. None of the locations I were on are on our watch list. So no punching. Suit watch. So normally I have several suits to talk about, but he only wore one throughout the whole episode. He wore a light
Wow.
gray pinstripe jacket, a charcoal gray vest, and a sky blue shirt. So
So
yeah,
does that indicate that this was a faster case, that
I
he
think so.
didn't
Yeah,
need to change his clothes as often?
I think it's just one day. Yeah,
All right. Good job, team.
one day with Bosco.
It's all he could handle.
Cheat watch. No additions to that. Nothing to revenge watch. No addition to the Red John timeline. Although he does get the thin file.
There you go.
And we don't know whether to add to the reading list. We're gonna look into that. No upside down badge, no Lisbon scream. So Jane's Harrowmeter. So we're gonna. Me and Karin didn't really pay much attention to Jane's hair in this episode. We both gave him an 8. But I'm gonna read I'm gonna read Expanse Lovers hair analysis because while we may be phoning it in, she is not.
Very true.
She's she says, while the kidnapping case is serious, Jane is having nothing but fun with Bosco. His hair displays his confidence in almost every scene, but especially those with Sam. A tousled, disheveled look with plenty of gold highlights. Curls abound. They even look a little bit fluffier when they are trapping Mrs. Kent. Jane is always enjoying himself more when the con is on. In the last scene, when Bosco is giving him the Red John file, the curls are much flatter, showing this is way more serious stuff. It's a 9. Ooh, 9.
Well said, Expanse.
All right, favorite lines. Mine is when Bosco says, "Can't have them pulling some cheap stunt behind my back." And Jane says, "Well, we have a whole range of expensive stunts if you don't like the cheap ones."
So good. I chose when the husband is meeting Lisbon's team. He says, "More CBI. Where did you guys come from anyway? 2 days ago, I never heard of you." And Jane says, "You neither."
He's so sassy.
It's so. Oh. And for the Cho Zinger of the week, of course, I had to go with Ernie's the clever, handsome one.
Which I have to say, is Ernie handsome? He's a muppet.
No, I mean, I feel like there's probably a fandom somewhere on the internet that has written some essays about this. So
Cho is the clever handsome one, though. All
yes, for
right,
sure.
we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be back with a new Memory Palace quiz. All right, we're back with a new Memory Palace quiz for you this week. The way this works is I'm going to ask Karen 6 questions about the episode we just discussed, and you'll have 5 seconds to come up with the answer. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it. Going over my notes real quick.
Which question 1: which detective does Jane mock Bosco with?
Oh, that's Kojak and Bullet.
Yeah, I didn't realize that Bullet was a reference. I thought he was saying Bullet, but it's a movie, right?
It's something like that. I don't know. I was gonna look it up and did not.
Hang on, I have the page up. It's from 1968.
Oh, Steve McQueen.
Oh wow. Yeah,
And
he's referring to Detective Lieutenant Frank Bullitt.
he's wearing the same kind of harness that Bosco wears.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Question 2. What is the name of the squatter drug gang?
Crazy Hill.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, question 3. Where was Colin Hamer from?
He was from the San Francisco area, but I know they
Yeah.
were more specific than
No,
that.
I put San Francisco, so that's enough.
Okay.
Good job.
Ooh.
Question 4. They're getting harder. Who is Belinda Sanborn?
She is the lawyer.
She's the lawyer. Very good. Okay, question 5. Which member of the Mexican mafia does Bosco say they're looking for?
Oh no. I don't have it.
It's Snoopy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I wrote that down. These
Okay.
guys come up with some really tough names. I just
Okay.
couldn't.
I will be very impressed if you get this one. Question 6. How many times does Grace get shot?
Oh no. 4, 3.
3. Very good that you
Woohoo!
got 4 out of 6. All right. Any final thoughts? This is a really good episode
Yeah.
leading up to the next one, which is a
Yeah,
big
it really
one.
does
So
feel like
I'm
a bridging
excited.
episode because we need to transition our feelings about Bosco leading into the next case.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be an exciting one
Yes.
to get to. I can't wait. I think it's safe to
Yeah.
say that it's a fan favorite. I see people post about that one
Yeah,
all the
I would say
time on the
the
subreddit.
episode
So
coming up, the next one, is the one that really cemented The Mentalist as more than a casual watch for me. That is just
mm, yeah.
so many surprises. Like you can't believe they went there.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. If you're enjoying Rom-Com Detectives, please consider taking a minute to leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. If you're on Spotify, Reddit, or YouTube, leave us a comment answering our question of the week. Do you know who Kojak is? It's kind of an old reference, that's why. If you'd like to join additional conversation about The Mentalist, you can visit the Mentalist subreddit at reddit.com/r/The Mentalist, and you can join the Mentalist Bullpen Discord server at discord.gg/Mentalist Bullpen. To contact me and Karin, email us at host@romcomdetectives.com. You can follow us on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Threads at romcomdetectives. If you'd like to ask us a question or tell us your own thoughts, you can leave us a voicemail or text message at 1-650-733-XOXO or 9696. This episode of Rom-Com Detectives was recorded on August 7th, 2026. Rom-Com Detectives Mentalist Unit is co-hosted by Crystal Watanabe and Karin Lubbers and is produced by People's House. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll catch you guys next time for our breakdown of Season 2, Episode 8, His Red Right Hand. Bye.
Bye.